Oh boy, it's happening, isn't it? Just last week, I believe it was Andy or Anthony Padilla. No, not Anthony Padilla. I think it was Alex Padilla, was arrested and detained by ICE after he openly protested and opposed ICE and its raids on communities in his state. And now, what was obviously just the start of a future pattern and trend has continued to trend. The pattern is now showing itself because now a week later, it has happened again. Trump has ordered the arrest of another elected official. This time, it's Anthony Padilla. No, it's not Anthony Padilla. I'm pretty sure Anthony Padilla is the guy from Smosh. But this time around, it's New York City mayoral candidate and current comptroller of the New York City, Brad Lander, who was assaulted and arrested by ICE agents just the other day and is now facing basically there is now a big situation, a big scandal going around about how okay, so it is clear now that the idea of ICE arresting elected representatives is the norm now. When Trump feels like someone has stepped too far to stop his efforts to do mass deportations, he will consider them a criminal. And ICE will have all the authority in the world to detain and arrest them. This is not a sign of a functional democracy. This has been getting crazy, and I think that I would be doing a disservice to you all if I did not cover it. So we're going to be talking about the arrest of Brad Lander. Immigration in America.
Right now in New York City, Congressman Jerry Nadler and Dan Goldman are speaking right now to reporters outside an immigration courthouse. This is in downtown New York. It comes less than 24 hours after New York City Controller Brad Lander was arrested at this same building as he was escorting a person out of an immigration courtroom yesterday. And DHS accused Lander of assaulting law enforcement in this, of impeding a federal officer. He has not been charged with any crime at this time, but certainly this video has got a lot of attention.
Yeah, arresting and detaining a elected representative, well, not elected representative, but a person that is serving a purpose in our government and pressing no charges, a little sus, not gonna lie. You would expect there'd be some actual criminal charges if there was any evidence that he'd committed a crime. Seems like they just want to make an example out of him and intimidate people by holding him for as long as they can without having charges to push.
Joining us now is New York City Controller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander. Brad, good to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. First of all, what's going through your mind this morning after that happened just, 12 hours ago, less than 24 hours ago?
Yeah. But look, I got to sleep in my bed last night and talk to my lawyer. Edgardo, the asylum seeker who I was trying to escort out of the building, is in ICE custody, God knows where, has no lawyer, and has been stripped of status. So I feel safe for myself, but worried about him, worried for thousands of immigrant asylum seekers, and worried about our democracy.
What happened in this incident from your perspective?
So what ICE has been doing, what Department of Homeland Security has been doing for the past 3 weeks in court, is stripping people of their status. They call it dismissing their case, which sounds good, but actually what it means is you get stripped.
So what they're doing actually, though, is they're removing the legal status from legal immigrants. They are making legal immigrants into illegal immigrants so ICE can deport them. Remember, this was never about pursuing illegal immigrants. They are now making people into illegal immigrants so they can deport them too. That is the process. If you're not already illegal, they can make you illegal. And that's what a lot of the Trump-supporting immigrants that are very comfortable thinking that they're all safe and fine because they came here the right way, quote unquote. They think all's good. They don't think that they're going to be made an illegal citizen because of where they came from and what color their skin is and what language they speak. They think that will never happen.
of status, and then ICE agents can pick you up at the elevator. So, but act is stripping people of their status. They call it dismissing their case, which sounds good, but actually what it means is you get stripped of status, and then ICE agents can pick you up at the elevator. So I was just trying to escort him out of the building. I had done it 5 times before and been able to get people out of the building.
Got in the way of an
case,
arrest.
It did not go that way.
We heard you say in that video a number of times asking to see the arrest warrant, that arrest warrant for this person you mentioned, Edgardo, right? Yeah. Did you ever see the arrest warrant?
No. And let's be clear, Edgardo and all these others are doing exactly what they were supposed to do. They showed up in court on their court date. They had registered at the border. They're expecting to get their their hearing on their asylum case. And so, yeah, I wanted to see the judicial warrant. They never showed it to me. Or thousands of other people who are being detained and expedited in their removals, just like he is.
Well, when they started to detain you, I mean, some of these people in the pictures we're seeing don't have obvious, identification on them. They're masked. Them are in plain clothes. Was that concerning to you? Did you realize who they were?
To all of us. Look, that's the same set of people who arrested Senator Alex Padilla, the way Russ Baraka got arrested, a congressman staffer got arrested last week. Yes, I mean, I found it very concerning. Obviously, it goes very quickly, but it's troubling to me. It's way more troubling for our democracy.
But did you know who they were?
I mean, I knew where I was. I assumed they were ICE agents or DHS agents or FBI agents. But yeah, they're huddled around the elevator banks in masks without identifying information. What a terrifying, these are Gestapo tactics. And that's why I thought it was important to show.
Dude, imagine, they have a system set up where if you are someone who's been awaiting a hearing for your immigration status, they call you in, assuming you do everything you're supposed to do to pursue your legal status in America. If you follow the rules, they have it set up such that you end up coming out of an elevator without your legal status with a group of guys ready to arrest you and take you to God knows where waiting. It is a trap. Do not try to follow the rules here, thinking that's going to mean you're okay. I think a lot of people who are supporters of Trump, not voters necessarily, but supporters of Trump who are following the immigration process and thus think that they are, exempt from Trump's rhetoric, are going to learn the hard way that this was all part of the plan.
Go up and bear witness for folks who are having the due process denied, but also because it's an urgent time. Trump is coming for our cities and for the rule of law, and we got to find ways to stand up.
DHS said in a statement accusing you of assaulting law enforcement, impeding a federal officer, adding, "It is wrong that politicians seeking higher office undermine law enforcement safety to get a viral moment. No one is above the law, and if you lay a hand on a law enforcement officer, you will face consequences."
So anyone can see the video. I don't lay a hand on anyone. I don't assault anyone. And all I wanted to do was be able to escort him out of the building like I had done 5 times earlier. My goal was surely not to be arrested and detained. My goal was to help make sure there was due process and that Edgardo and others are safe and protected. That's what I think all elected officials should be doing right now.
Why did you want to help him? Was there anything in particular about Edgardo's case that drew you in?
I mean, I only met him right out the door, so...
So you'd shown up just to bear witness to anybody whose case was being presented yesterday?
There's an organization...
You know what's really frustrating? I've never seen more negativity around the Democrats from the left than I have since Trump took office. And yet we are in a political landscape where many of these Democrats are risking, if not outright, just getting arrested for standing by their principles and trying to do even the slightest amount of good to counteract the bad that Trump is doing. And meanwhile, we're still hung up on this, the Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans bullshit. And here's a Democrat who just met a random undocumented immigrant, tried to escort him out of the building, and tried to, use his privilege as an elected person in office to, keep this guy from getting detained by ICE, went to jail for it, and is now using his platform to spread awareness about that. This is worlds apart from the Republicans. The equivocating between the two parties needs to stop. It's never been more obvious how uncomparable they are.
called Immigrant Arc that has a friend of the court program, and you just show up for whoever is there to watch their case, and then if they need an escort out of the building, to provide it.
You mentioned you're not alone. I mean, we've seen all these other cases, other people facing charges. In fact, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver currently facing charges. We saw the arrest initially of Newark Mayor Ross Baraka. He was detained. Ultimately, charges were dropped in his case. You mentioned California Senator Alex Padilla, who was forcibly removed, briefly detained by security officials at a press conference for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. How would you describe what's going on?
I mean, Attorney General Pam Bondi has described it as they are trying to liberate cities from their elected officials. But what that means to me is they are trying to
liberate cities from their elected officials. That is the GOP's narrative. Their goal is to liberate cities from their elected officials.
Wreck the rule of law. I mean, this is how we work. We elect people to lead, and what Trump wants to do is stoke conflict, instill fear in these families, and like figure out how far they can push an authoritarian overreach. And that's why I say we should.
Hey guys, you remember when Obama wore that tan suit and ordered Dijon mustard? How dare he? That might have been the most catastrophic moment in American history, at least based on how much news coverage that got compared to this.
Should show up. We should do it with like nonviolent, insistent, peaceful means, but demanding to see the judicial warrants, asserting people's rights, providing that witness-bearing and nonviolent accompaniments that I went to do yesterday. That was the spirit of millions of people coming out this weekend. Like, this is an urgent moment. We're not going to let Donald Trump and Pam Bondi liberate America from democracy.
I mean, Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office says they're reviewing what happened here. Do you worry you could still face charges?
I mean, you know, they said yesterday that there were no charges brought, but that the case was under review. So we'll see what happens. But anyone can watch the video and judge for themselves. And I would just urge others to join in these efforts to bear witness and show up.
You want to be mayor of New York City. If you were elected, what would you do about what's happening related to what you've described, more of a targeted movement by the Trump administration when it comes to interactions with Democratic officials?
Yeah. Well,
so I want to throw something in really quick. This has been a big deal for Brad Lander's mayoral run. Even all but I think one of his the candidates that he's running against have come out to speak out against him getting arrested and have spoken out in support of him on this issue. Even his competition in the election has come out to speak publicly in his defense. And now he is making headlines for defending a member of his community against ICE in New York. And this time he's already an elected comptroller. There's a very good chance that Brad Lander is going to be the next mayor of New York. Like, this story alone might be what does it. And he seems like he's worthy of that role. I think he would make a good mayor.
Well, first, what I wish Edgardo had yesterday was a lawyer. That would have been better than me. I'm not his lawyer. New York City should be acting to make sure that folks who be facing deportation proceedings have legal counsel, get advice. We could be connecting people through schools and libraries and hospitals. And, 40% of New Yorkers are immigrants. 1 million kids are either immigrants or live in mixed status households. So as mayor, I'm going to protect all New Yorkers, whether they, are here since birth or here since breakfast, and make sure that we show up for them, get them legal advice. But of course, that goes more. We need affordable housing and good jobs and protections. And right now, our mayor's doing none of those things.
Would you stand up to the Trump administration? And how would you do so?
Clearly.
Well, partly I'll do it like I did yesterday. I mean, I will show up with my body on the line. I'll show up.
Another good example is Boston's mayor apparently has been really trying to fuck ICE and has gotten very popular in doing so. So this has been an opportunity for a lot of locally elected officials to stand up against ICE's invasion of their communities and ingratiate themselves with their voters and secure more support for future elections. And so this is very much going to be a situation where in progressive cities, the best progressive leaders are going to outshine the weakest progressive leaders, the ones who do the least for their community and just walk or talk, don't walk. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, you know? The ones who walk the walk are going to really stand out over the next 3 years. And I think that's going to be really good for blue states and blue cities, and what their legislation and policy and living in those cities and states is going to be like in the future. I think much better candidates from the Democratic Party are going to end up in office.
To make sure people get legal counsel.
Yeah,
and
separate the Bernies from the Warrens.
We won't let ICE into our schools or our hospitals or our libraries. That's what it looks like. We've got the Statue of Liberty out in the harbor. This is the greatest immigrant city the world has ever known. And as mayor, I will fight like hell to keep it that way.
Brad Lander, thank you very much for coming in, for sharing your story. And let's please keep in touch as you continue your efforts at these immigration courts.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you here.
That was a good interview with him. I did not expect it to be a full-on interview. I just thought this was like a news segment covering the story. Oh, of course, the comments. The comments are all in favor of his arrest. If you're curious, this shouldn't surprise you. That's almost as bad as a New York Democrat attorney general and Marxist judge from New York City appraising a $1 billion Florida resort for a couple million to scam a conviction. So he admitted to sneaking illegals out of the courthouse after they had ordered him to be detained. He needs to be charged. Thank you, ICE, for upholding U.S. law, and thank you, Doge, for exposing the corruption and fraud of the Democrat Party. And thank you, Trump, for calling out fake news like MSNBC, ABC, and CNN. Democrat Party still mad Republicans ended slavery. Now they're trying to pay U.S. black people to protest with illegal immigrants. Sorry, but we're already U.S. citizens. They're not, dumbasses. Laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji. Troll alert. The trolls must be sitting there just waiting for new videos to come out so they can attack the truth. Troll alert. Democrats and MSNBC are the real Gestapo. No one believes a word of MSNBC reports. You are a political regime, not a news broadcast station. Democrats arrested the innocent for 4 years. Lander was not innocent. What a hero, said no one ever. Clown emoji. Remember how democracy put Navarro in leg irons in a U.S. airport? Or Democrats, I think is what they meant to say. Or CNN SWAT teams boating into Roger Stone's backyard? CNN SWAT teams. Everything I don't like is Hitler isn't working out for you anymore. How about get over it? People here illegally shouldn't be here. And if you're standing in the way of that, you're standing in the way of the nation's security and sovereignty. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. These measures wouldn't need to be taken if you people hadn't brought them in here by such a degree. Now it has to be corrected. If you don't like it, then oh well. Oh well, how about stop smoking whatever it is you're on? Jesus. Last Gestapo tactics I experienced is when the Democrats tried holding my job over my head if I didn't get the jab. Parentheses, you failed. Not to mention shutting the country down of everything other than big businesses that the Bidens and Pelosi's have at stake in. Thanks for that, Democrats. Calling the cops Gestapo just sounds like something a criminal would say about cops doing their jobs the way they are supposed to. What is really shocking is how they acted towards cops on illegals. But what else would you expect? They are crisis actors. Trump literally shut down the economy. What the fuck? I think it's important to read what these are the people. This is the common people. They're all coming out to, like, this is the popular mindset among politically active people right now. We are dealing with brain-dead troglodytes here. They're either so full of hate, they just want to see immigrants and Democrats suffer, so they defend it and support it whenever it happens, or they're so bought into the propaganda that none of these stories get through to them. To them, it's just like, yeah, you're losing. This is what we wanted. The left is losing. Yeah, like, how is this bad? How is this Gestapo? They're just the cops doing what the cops are supposed to do. It's the law, dude. Like, what do you mean? As if the Gestapo were not following the law. Fuck it, take the internet from all right-wingers. They are too fucking stupid to use it. Well, they are the ones using it the most currently by the looks of things. Kinda sucks, but I mean, at least they're not out there polluting the real air that we all breathe when we leave our houses. Anyway, everybody, if you guys enjoyed this segment, and you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way, then please consider leaving a like on this video or the stream, depending on what you're watching. Every like just takes half a second to leave, and it's totally free, but helps a lot to boost the channel in the algorithm and grow it with more people watching. And of course, be sure to comment as well if you want to boost that effect. If you don't know what to say in your comment, you can always just say, "Who up Xandering their hall?" It really does help a lot, no matter how you guys support me, so I really do appreciate it when you guys like and comment in particular, because it's just free and it only takes a second. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I upload new videos in the future or go live. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you should probably follow my social medias linked down below in the description, particularly my fan Discord, as it's the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of that, I host weekly gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and movie nights there, on top of announcing all my new streams and uploads there as well. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you join my Discord through the link down below in the description. And of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you guys support me, though, thank you all so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.